From a stolen vehicle ring in Adams County to a huge tow truck scam in Douglas County and a drive-by shooting on I-225 in Aurora. Just this month, we have told you how flock cameras have helped law enforcement catch criminals in big cases all across the metro area. Well, now something new to share that could have you thinking twice about the technology. Your investigator Karen Morfitt shares how this technology wrongly accused a woman and how she turned the cameras on police to clear her name.
So imagine this. It's a warm Saturday in the summer. You're out going to Cars and Coffee, or maybe you're just out for an evening drive with some friends, hitting some back roads, driving through town. You pass a camera. It takes a picture of your license plate, but it also takes a picture of any damage you have to your vehicle, any modifications, any distinguishing factors of your vehicle, such as aftermarket wheels or stickers or modifications, the color, the year, make, and model. You drive down the road a little bit farther and another camera does the same thing. And then on and on, all the way to your destination and all the way back home. Sounds crazy, right? That's the reality of what's happening right now. So, what's up, everybody? I'm Jake. This is Just Drive. We're in my garage. Got my WRX back home finally. She's been at the shop after my accident, so y'all will be able to see. I'll have a video about that later on. But today, we're talking about the flock cameras. They're popping up all over the United States. The estimated numbers is north of 100,000 spread out across the United States, which is absolutely wild. Flock hasn't officially released a number of cameras that are installed throughout the U.S., but it's a lot. You can check out DFlock. I'll put it right here. It's an open source community guided map of where all the flock cameras are. In this video, we're going to get into what the flock cameras are, what they're capable of, and a couple other things involved with them. So to start off this video, I've got some notes. I've done a lot of research into this and making sure that I have everything correctly established. So, who is Flock Safety? Flock Safety was founded in 2017 by Garrett Langley, this guy right here, and a couple other people, but he's the main face. It was founded after Garrett Langley was involved in I believe a property crime incident, and he wanted to create tools to help first responders, help the police, give them tools to help locate people and make their jobs a little bit easier. Unlike traditional security cameras, these cameras are ran by an AI. This AI has been trained and is continuing to be trained on distinguishing factors for vehicles. Again, such as modifications, stickers, damage, anything like that. According to Flock, this technology that they've developed has helped recover stolen vehicles, helped with homicides, helped with solving crimes, abductions, Amber Alerts, stuff like that. And on a level, I believe that may be true. The reality is these cameras are doing a lot more than what was initially promoted that they do, and also more than what is promoted that they do now. Most people think that these cameras are just automatic license plate readers, ALPRs. We have those all over the country. We've had them for a very long time. You speed past them, they take a picture of your license plate, you get a ticket in the mail. The reality is these cameras are much more than that. According to Flock's own information that they've released on their website, which I'll leave a link to their website so you can identify their website and also look through it yourself. According to their website, they can see license plate numbers, vehicle make, vehicle model, body style, the color. They can distinguish whether it's a temporary tag or a permanent tag, any visible damage on your vehicle, any visible modifications on your vehicle, or other distinguishing factors that makes your vehicle stand out among other normal vehicles, everyday vehicles. As a car enthusiast, that's a bit concerning, and we'll get into why I think that throughout this video. But if the vehicles can pick up distinguishing factors, if the flock cameras can pick up distinguishing factors, that presents a potential issue for us in the automotive community, because we build our cars to stand out specifically. And most of us that are in the automotive community have, aftermarket wheels, aftermarket modifications, stickers showcasing our social media or other various things that we like. So that presents an issue, and we'll get into that later on in the video. Another big capability with these flock cameras that has already been publicly disclosed is called hot listing. And I have some information about it right here. That's one of the camera's most powerful features, supposedly one of its most powerful features that's been publicly discussed. And basically what it allows is law enforcement agencies and other entities, we don't know the full scope yet on who has access to it, but it allows them to enter into the flock database and put in license plate numbers, specific characteristics, year, make, model, car, anything that can distinguish your vehicle and create a hit on your vehicle. Anytime you were to pass one of these flock cameras, these cameras would create a notification, and this notification would be sent to the police department on their cell phones, on their computers, stuff like that. So it emphasizes that it is a live tracking ability on these flock cameras, which they have adamantly come out and said that they are not actively tracking people, which, again, this information says otherwise. Something about these flock cameras and any AI, advanced large language model guided surveillance systems or tracking systems, ALPRs, something to understand is the technology is not perfect. And these ALPRs, as they're promoted, can mess up and have messed up quite a few times. There's been multiple people that have been wrongly arrested, creating potential safety issues for citizens, wrongly jailed for an extended period of time because these cameras falsely read license plates on their vehicles, or falsely identified their vehicle based off of the criteria that they have. One of these, a big story, is Kimberly Williams, who was wrongfully arrested after investigators failed to stop AI from interfering with their investigation. Now, the flock cameras were not directly linked to this that I can find, but another form of camera that was guided by an AI large language model falsely identified this woman as a potential suspect for a outstanding warrant in Maryland when she had never been to Maryland in her life. And this created a potential safety issue for her because she was then arrested, she was then held, and had to go through this entire process to prove that it wasn't her because the police department failed to use their due diligence and verify that this was the correct person. So that's one of many. At the time that this happened, she was the 14th person for this to happen to. It's not directly involved with flock, but it does emphasize the not so advanced abilities of these AI large language models that are controlling these cameras. Another big portion of this is the bigger privacy debate around these cameras. as more of these cameras are installed, again, Flock hasn't released a specific number of cameras, how many there are in the United States. As it stands right now, third-party analysts believe there are more than 100,000, which I would believe that to more than likely be the case. If these cameras keep getting put up and the more of them that exist, they can build a network showing where someone has been throughout a day or throughout a week or a month. And that's what they're doing right now. Even though it says, Flock has come out and said that they're not doing that and their data is only stored for a certain amount of time. One, I don't know how well we can believe that because we don't have any evidence to know exactly where their data is stored. On top of that, they have made it almost impossible with legal loopholes to get footage from these cameras legally through FOIA, which is Freedom of Information Act requests. The biggest questions that this bring up for me are, imagine if you're participating in a cruise or a rally or a poker run or something like that, and you pass multiple of these cameras in a given amount of time. These cameras, given that they're controlled by a large language model AI, are able to, with a simple algorithm, they would be able to track using timestamps and video or picture data from you passing the cameras. They could calculate how quickly you needed to be moving to pass the two cameras or multiple cameras within that time frame. And that presents an issue. That's one of a few. The other main issue, as I pointed out earlier, is these cameras take away the ability to be private. If the cameras are tracking you and taking a picture of you every single time, taking a picture of your vehicle every single time you pass them, they are actively able to track you when you were there, where you were, geolocation, timestamp. And even if you're not doing anything illegal or with nefarious intentions, you're still being watched. You're still being tracked. In the automotive community, that presents even more of an issue because our vehicles are modified. Our vehicles are easily identifiable. And the argument could be made that I make content online with my car, with my WRX. So the argument that could be made is that people see my vehicle online all the time anyway. So my vehicle is very distinguishable. And while that's true, people don't always know where I am. People don't always know, hey, he's here. And I'm not a big enough content creator for that to even matter. But there are some content creators that are big enough for that to matter. And that potentially creates a privacy issue, but not only a privacy issue, a safety issue. Because say someone has a grievance against them for some reason, and they're able to find their location based off of these cameras. For instance, they have access to the Flock database. They're able to find these people based off of those camera readings and those videos and those pictures. And that's actually happened multiple times. And there's been multiple stories of this come out recently of the police officer who used the Flock cameras to track his previous significant other and her significant other because he was upset or jealous or whatever the situation may have been. He was using, as a police officer, the Flock cameras to track them and keep tabs on them. And I'll link the story here as well so you guys are able to see it. Another big safety issue and privacy concern is actually in Dunwoody, Georgia, where Flock is based out of, or where it was based out of. In 2025, public reporting revealed that Flock executives had access to camera feed within the Dunwoody Police Department system that was associated with a children's gymnastics gym. They came out, and the story will be right here. Flock came out and said that that was for a sales demonstration. Well, if your cameras are automatic license plate reading cameras, why would you have a camera facing a children's gymnastics center, and that's what you used for your sales pitch? And as the people who are in that room watching that sales pitch, this is a question of your type of character as well. If that's what they used as a sales pitch to you, and you still purchased that camera and used their software and their systems, you have questionable characteristics as well, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. I don't think that this issue is on or off, black or white. I think that this issue is, yes, the cameras could be useful. They could be useful for helping find stolen vehicles, or helping find missing people, or helping with Amber Alerts, because that's a big thing here in the United States. And that's another topic that I'm not going to get into, but they can be useful. But I think this type of technology and the amount of technology that exists with this also needs to have very, very heavy oversight. And maybe not from the government, but I think that the people should be able to have access to this database, because at the end of the day, our tax money is purchasing a lot of these cameras. So I think that it should be easily accessible for everyday citizens to be able to see what's going on. Another big portion of this and a capability of the Flock cameras is something called SafeLock. What SafeLock does, in a nutshell, the way I understand it, is people can go onto their website and they can enter their license plate number into the database. Again, giving them the information of your license plate being in the database, but also what it's supposed to do is make it to where the cameras do not track your vehicle, or the database doesn't store your information, is the way that I understand it. That being said, I don't think that's the case at all. I don't think that's what is really happening. But if it is, what is stopping someone from, before doing something illegal or nefarious, what's stopping them from just entering the license plate number into the database of the vehicle they're going to be driving when it happens? Then the cameras won't store the data, right? Well, then they can get away with it. And I think that they could be useful, but I think that surveillance tools like this require a lot of oversight, and right now that oversight isn't provided. There's another video with this, which I'll link this video right here as well, talking about how the cameras were easily accessible to connect a computer to them and get into the database. They have no security. And if someone on YouTube is able to do that, what's stopping bad actors from foreign countries from doing the same? The answer to that is nothing. And they are doing that. The big thing for me is, at the end of the day, this isn't just about these automatic license plate readers. This isn't about the cameras. This is about a private company that is worth upwards of $7 billion currently. I don't know what their total valuation is. I'll actually put it right here. Tracking our vehicles, tracking our persons, knowing exactly where we are, when we're there, where we've gone after that, in just our everyday life. That creates a safety issue for people who are safety conscious and understand, building a business like this, they're doing it for profit until they can sell it. This has nothing to do with actually keeping people safe. And also building a surveillance state that it's undeniable that this is a surveillance state, or that's what we're going to. Similar situation happened in China with their social credit system, and we see as consumers of media, and we see as people what that's doing. I think that if we continue to go down this road, especially with the advancements of AI and everything, it's going to cause problems for us as automotive enthusiasts, but also us as people in the future, because at all times, the government or a private company will know where we are, what we're doing, who we're with. And that's not even to touch on, well, I guess we should touch on it. A big portion to touch on with this is any cameras, not just the ALPRs, that have access to the internet can be added to Flock's database and do the exact same thing through a software upgrade. Another potential problem that I've seen with this is some of these cameras are equipped with microphones, similar to this little microphone right here. And Flock's answer to that was that they're for gunshots. Well, if that is the case, the microphones are constantly always listening. It would be the exact same technology. In order to do that, that's the exact same technology that's used for Alexa or Google Home or whatever, pick whichever one you would like. What they do is they're constantly listening for a keyword phrase or sounds, which is exactly what the microphones on these Flock cameras are doing. So they are constantly listening. And that presents another potential issue. I think that the Flock cameras are going to be more of an issue than most people realize. I think they're going to be more of an issue than the Flock company is letting on. And it's actually ironic because they're very, very security conscious. There was just a video released a couple of days ago by Tommy G, who's a reporter, I'll link his video right here, fantastic reporter. He actually went and tried to go to the Flock headquarters to have an impromptu conversation with them. And then he was told that they had moved their headquarters, and luckily through some help, he was able to find their new headquarters, which happened to be this building right here, which is a nondescript, has nothing with Flock advertising on it, anything like that. They didn't want people there. And then later on in the video, he was able to speak with someone from Flock. And if you want to watch the video, check out the video. It's an awesome video, and it actually shows what they're really trying to do. So there's a lot of safety issues, and there's a lot of potential concerns with this, and I'm concerned. And this video is not for me to sway someone one direction or the other. This video is for me to voice my opinion on them and what I think is happening. I want to hear y'all's opinion. I want to hear everyone's opinion on these Flock cameras and what they're doing. So drop it down in the comments. Let me know what your opinion is. Let me know what you think, whether the Flock cameras are going to be a good thing, whether you think that they're a bad thing, whether you're indifferent. Let me know your opinions. Let me know what you think could help or potentially make it worse. I don't want people to go out and risk, felonies or risk getting in a lot of trouble for going and destroying these Flock cameras. I'm not telling anyone to do that. Please don't use this video and say that I told you to do that. But if you don't agree with the Flock cameras and you don't agree with what they stand for, please go to your local police station, go to your local city council meeting or town hall or anything like that, and speak with these people and voice your opinion on them. I think that's one of the greatest ways we can do that. I think that if we get people to understand what the cost of this is going to be outside of the monetary cost, I think that we have potential to maybe mitigate some of the things happening, some of the potential safety issues or some of the potential false arrests or anything like that. Regardless of if these cameras have helped make arrests and have helped find stolen vehicles or track down missing people, one wrong identification for a vehicle or a person or anything like that is too many. So again, let me know your comments. Let me know your opinions down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Hit me over on Instagram at just.drive1. And I'll see y'all in the next video.